Ever been to those relative parties where you feel like you're sitting around waiting to die? You know, people are watching CNN, they're reading magazines. It's like you're at an airport waiting for the flight that's never going to show up, right? Sorry. Maybe some of you know what I'm talking about, though. Well, imagine you're at a party like that, and somebody takes out a deck of cards, and they begin to shuffle it, and they're like, just a regular set of cards right here. You're like, oh, what are you talking about? You're gonna do a magic trick for us? What are you doing? So, just a regular set of cards. And you know what's coming. They're going to be like, let's cut the deck, okay? Just for the sake of illustration here, will somebody in the front row just yell stop? Somebody yell stop sometime. Stop. All right, thank you. So you know what's coming next, right? They're going to say, okay, go ahead and take that card. Now, for the sake of illustration, I'm not going to have anybody come up here, but I'm just going to pull the card out for illustration. And they're going to say, all right, now I want you to memorize this card. I want you to look at it, and I want you to burn that into your memory. And then I want you to show it around, right? Show it off to people. And I'm actually quite interested in what this card is right now. But I'm going to stay in character here, okay? So memorize that thing, pass it around, right? And then normally they'll say, go ahead and put it back in the deck, and then they're going to look through it. For the sake of illustration, I'm just going to put it on the very top, all right? So, same card on the very top. So now they're going to do some mental magic, right? This is the relative party that's going nowhere, so they're going to really ham this up. It's the only card trick they know. So, all right, now I want you to think about the card. Seriously, think about it. Now I'm going to start. Oh, I see. They're really hamming this up, right? I see black clouds. It's dark. Something of infinity. Is that an infinity symbol? No, is it the 8 of clubs? What was the card? Was it? Spades. Oh, wow, that actually worked. Yeah. Go figure. Now, what on earth are the chances that that was just totally random? No, I rigged it because it's a card trick, right? Yeah. That's the point. Kind of like if you went to, say you missed the church here, if you're not from Ridgeway and you're trying to find this place. Say you missed the church and you ended up at the casino. You're walking around going, man, this Ridgeway, this is a big place, man. If you saw a guy who was just sitting at the poker table winning all day long, the guy can't be beat, security is not going to think that your winning streak is just because you're awesome at poker. No, they're going to think you're cheating. You're going to think you rigged this. They're going to think you rigged this. Just like this, we find some awesome examples of things in the universe that really seem like they were not the result of random chance. These things seem like they were really designed. Somebody rigged this. This wasn't just random. And you don't have to go, far out into the far reaches of the galaxy to find this stuff. Here's one that might be closer than you think. Instructional information in our DNA. Let me show you what that looks like right here on the screen. These letters A, T, G, and C are the nucleotide bases. Adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Now, even if you're not a science type, what you need to know is that the order of these letters communicates a very, very specific set of instructions for building proteins within the cell. And so this is kind of like the way that letters appear in a book to make up words or sentences. This is like HTML or ActionScript or any other kind of computer program. Richard Dawkins, the British evolutionary biologist, took a look at this and he said, the machine code looks uncannily computer-like. Bill Gates from Microsoft says that DNA is like a computer program, but far, far more advanced than any software we've ever created. So when you take a look at this, you see that the letters A, T, G, and C work just like a secret code or letters in a book. And so the big question is, where did this information come from? If you have information, where did it come from? The origin of life biologist Bernd Olaf Cooper says that the question of the origin of life is clearly basically equivalent to the question of the origin of biological information. If God didn't write that, where'd that come from? You have information, somebody wrote it. Undirected chance can't fully explain things like this, things that really seem like they were designed. And so what can we learn from this and how can we illustrate this? Imagine you bought a new camera and you unpacked the box and you found this instruction manual in there. Honestly, who even reads these, right? But let's say if I can't use your camera without reading a thing like this, I'm not going to buy it. But let's say you actually looked at this, and it would be dumb if your kid asked, Dad, where'd this come from? Who wrote this? And you said, nobody wrote this. No, somebody wrote this. You have a set of instructions, that implies an author. Somebody wrote this. Furthermore, somebody once said, was flipping through this at one of these relative parties, said like, the problem is there's just more than one language nowadays. So you see this, if it's in Japanese and in French and in Spanish, you know that somebody translated that for you. Furthermore, if you were a secret spy and you found a secret agent spy and you found a hidden code in here, you know that somebody planted that there for you, right? So when you have information that's encoded, you know that you have an encoder. Third, information processing systems imply programmers. When you have information for building proteins within the cell, and you see that being carried out, we've got an information processing system. This is kind of like your computer's operating system or your computer's processor. Windows 7 didn't just pop out of nowhere uncaused, out of nothing. Somebody programmed that. And so we see from this example that instructional information implies an author, encoded information implies an encoder, and an information processing system implies a programmer. So the design we see in nature tells us about the existence of an intelligent designer. The information in your DNA is like an instruction manual. With this example, you've got the opportunity to get concrete objects involved. That helps things to stick. It's great for when you're teaching your kids. It's good for sharing this material with small groups. A deck of cards, an instruction manual. If you are out with one of your skeptical friends, maybe the lunch menu at the restaurant. Take a look at that. It would be dumb to say nobody wrote that. We have information there. That implies an author. So even if you were just to have somebody imagine a concrete object like an instruction manual, it actually makes these illustrations easier to remember.